April 1st, 2025. Trump doesn't rule out possibility of becoming immortal emperor of mankind for next 10,000 years. White House abruptly fires career Justice Department prosecutors in latest norm-shattering move. Inside Jake Paul's resistance lab. We're training Americans to take down potential Trump dictatorship. Cory Booker's marathon Senate floor speech stretches into the night in protest over Trump actions. Whiskey-drinking rocker transforms into West Africa's most dangerous al-Qaeda leader. Trump signs executive order targeting exploitive ticket scalping. Fade to black. Biden allies reportedly prepped for his death as early as 2023. Epstein victim and Prince Andrew accuser Virginia Giuffre has days to live after car wreck. MIT is out here publishing stories about growing spare humans in pods. For real. Kanye West says he didn't want to have kids with Kim Kardashian. France's Le Pen sentenced to 4 years in jail. An administrative error sends a Maryland father to a Salvadoran prison. Disturbing video shows jail guards carrying out violent, hours-long retribution at Maplehurst. UK. Toddler suspended from nursery for being transphobic sparks backlash and mockery. This city is so full of rubbish and cat-sized rats it's declared a major incident. World's oldest trees threatened by silver fire in Inyo County. Crews halt spread of blaze. We weren't stuck. NASA astronauts tell of space odyssey and reject claims of neglect. April 2nd, 2025. Cory Booker sets a record with marathon Senate speech. Will it rally anti-Trump resistance? Supreme decision. Liberal wins first major battleground election of 2025 and most expensive race of its kind in U.S. history. Trump-endorsed Jimmy Patronis wins election for Matt Gaetz's vacated seat. China's tariff-dodging move to Mexico looks doomed. U.S. adding second aircraft carrier in Middle East. Live fire action marks day 2 of Beijing's military drills near Taiwan. Senator John Kennedy exposes judicial coup against Trump administration via rogue federal judges abusing universal injunctions. MSNBC loses its election night guru in network shakeup. Actor Val Kilmer, star of Batman Forever, The Doors, dead at 65. Disney plans to vacate storied Fox lot in Century City by year's end. I was a CIA agent. Here's where the Ark of the Covenant is hidden. Virginia Giuffre made a mistake when she said she had 4 days left to live. Lauren Boebert confuses Oliver Stone for Roger Stone at JFK assassination hearing. First snap ban on candy and soda set to become law. New Colorado bill would penalize misgendering in public places and use it as justification to take your kids away. Weed, shrooms, and LSD. All were on sale at the unofficial Portland Sunday market, feds say. U.S. state-funded media puts employees on unpaid leave. April 3rd, 2025. CNBC panel says Trump tariffs worse than worst-case scenario. Trump unveils tariffs for U.S. being looted, pillaged, and raped by other nations. For GOP senators vote with Democrats to undo Trump tariffs on Canada. U.S. senator breaks record by trashing Trump for 25 hours straight. Elon Musk can't take the heat. Did Politico try to spin Elon's pre-scheduled departure from Doge to make it look like there's a rift between him and Trump? Lifting the lid. Doge discovers outlandish contract to maintain VA's website. After many warnings, Trump administration freezes funding for Maine over refusal to comply with executive order. Military clash almost inevitable if Iran nuclear talks fail, France says. Satellite image shows stealth bombers in Indian Ocean within striking distance of Iran. New FBI chat logs reveal extraordinary gag order senior leadership used to shut down any Hunter Biden laptop discussion. Hunter Biden surrenders D.C. law license, avoiding disbarment proceedings. U.S. cyber expert Wang Xiaofeng is safe after FBI raids, source says. John Oliver faces defamation lawsuit from U.S. healthcare executive. Queen Elizabeth's godson dies after suffering severe head injury. Atmospheric river could trigger 1,000-year flood. Dinosaur footprints preserved in exquisite detail discovered on Isle of Skye. April 4, 2025. Trump fires top boss at NSA, nation's elite spy agency. Trump says it's going very well as his tariffs wiped $2 trillion off stock market. CNBC's Jim Cramer says Trump tariffs make me feel like a sucker. Genius Trump tricks Democrats into hating taxes. Market reacting poorly to Trump's launch of huge, nonsensical tariffs that may have been created by a chatbot. Trump's tariffs are designed to backfire. Trump's tariffs give him a new way to dole out reward and punishment. Trump eliminates China and Hong Kong trade exemptions to combat illicit substance imports. Trump's tariffs threaten U.S. weapons production. Major global bank warns of potential dollar crisis. Donald Trump's pick for Beijing envoy affirms U.S. commitment to one China policy. U.S. government personnel in China banned from engaging in romantic or sexual relations with Chinese citizens. Trying to block arms to Israel, Bernie Sanders denounces AIPAC's massive election spending. Democrat star, Eric Adams, splits from party as he releases brutal campaign video blasting lefty extremists. Notorious LA gang boss has death penalty convictions for string of killings overturned. Final police report on Covenant killer says she killed for notoriety, not due to her hatred of Christians and white people. A Pentagon inspector general announces investigation into Hegseth's use of Signal. April 5, 2025. Tariffs cause another stock market rout. Losses approach $5 trillion as Dow plummets another 2,200 points. Trump isn't in Wall Street's pockets. He's in their heads. CNBC's Jim Cramer drops C-bomb live on air as he stuns co-host with anti-tariff rant. Ben Shapiro is super unhappy with Trump's tariffs. A major manufacturing shift back to the U.S. would take years. U.S. abandons 80-year era of pursuing globalization. Hundreds of thousands expected at Saturday's anti-Trump protests. Why Canadians are better than Americans at protesting Trump right now. Target destroyed. Trump shares video of airstrike on Iran-backed Houthis. They will never sink our ships again. Zelensky's troops injected with various party drugs to promote battle readiness. Florida man arrested after making death threats against Trump, say police. Diddy charged with 5 new criminal counts, weeks before sex trafficking trial. An unprecedented payout, LA County will settle sex abuse claims for $4 billion. Mega Millions increases ticket price to $5 and overhauls lottery. Klaus Schwab to step down as World Economic Forum chair. Trump trims the fat as he reverses Biden decision on weight loss drugs. As golden ages go, this one sucks. April 6, 2025. Angry protesters from New York to Alaska assail Trump and Musk in hands-off rallies. Going all in. Trump bets the White House and GOP control of Congress on tariffs. Trump touts economic revolution as economists warn of recession. Trump assures pain from tariffs should settle down by his third term. No entry. Secretary Rubio cancels entire country's visas for refusing to take citizens back in deportations. DOJ lawyer who admitted in court man's deportation was a mistake put on leave. DOJ's border expert reveals terrifying number of illegals on Medicaid and how thousands voted in the election. Biden handed out CDLs like candy. Now U.S. highways are a public safety and national security nightmare. Canadians should expect scrutiny at U.S. border, including of electronic devices, updated travel advisory says. Canada's parliament on lockdown after man barricades himself inside, lock all doors and hide. French PM labels Trump's support for Le Pen interference. Trump is gaslighting us. Trump has another miracle golf victory at his own course. Small dollar donors are asking John Fetterman for their money back. Terrence Howard claims Diddy tried to have sex with him. American influencer arrested after leaving can of coke for ultra-remote Indian Ocean tribe. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s cure for measles is making infected kids even sicker. April 7, 2025. Donald Trump addresses whether he crashed markets on purpose. Trump closes loophole used by American shoppers to buy Chinese goods tariff-free. Trump confirms reports that China tariffs killed TikTok deal. Over 50 countries seek U.S. trade talks after tariffs, say Trump officials. Global stock market meltdown leaves Wall Street barreling toward worst one-day crash since 1987's Black Monday as Trump's disastrous tariff fallout spirals. A lot of penguins. Trump official pressed on tariffs against uninhabited islands. Trump's top Wall Street bro warns of economic nuclear winter. Trump tariffs mean era of cheap fast fashion and cheap TVs is now over. Disorder in the court. Should have recused himself. Legal experts sound alarm on Obama-appointed judge blocking Trump's deportations. Gay makeup artist deported to prison in El Salvador. This lady at an anti-Trump protest bragged about being a queer and unashamed illegal immigrant, and the entire Trump team has taken notice. A trans woman was arrested at the Florida Capitol for using the women's restroom. Leftist protesters swarm border czar Tom Homan's house. Laura Loomer says jump. Trump asks how high. Hollywood legend Oliver Stone blasts Russiagate lies. Yet another study links water fluoridation to developmental issues in kids. Lethal injection, electric chair, or firing squad. An inhumane decision for death row prisoners. April 8, 2025. Trump announces direct Iran nuclear talks during meeting with Netanyahu. How a false X post about pausing tariffs led to multi-trillion-dollar market swings. China says it will fight to the end after Trump threatens additional 50% tariffs. China retaliates against tariffs by putting worse fortunes into cookies. Most Canadians now bracing for recession amid Trump tariff turmoil, according to Bank of Canada survey. Trump's making U.S. like him. Old, out of date, and losing it. Enemies not welcome. Supreme Court lifts order blocking Trump from using wartime law to deport suspected Venezuelan gang members. Halted. Chief Justice John Roberts freezes order requiring return of alleged MS-13 gang member. The shocking far-right agenda behind the facial recognition tech used by ICE and the FBI. American billionaire Bashar Mosri is accused of facilitating Hamas' October 7th terror attack on Israel in bombshell lawsuit. Trump administration fires admiral in ongoing purge of senior brass. Maine. AG sues Trump admin, who froze federal funds over state's refusal to enforce trans athlete ban. Scientists genetically engineer wolves with white hair and muscular jaws like the extinct dire wolf. Kawasaki's new rideable robohorse is straight out of a sci-fi novel. Two-passenger openly smokes crack on packed London Underground. German court sentences journalist for meme. Man learned he was allegedly switched at birth with baby who had the same last name. Now he's suing. April 9, 2025. Trump brags, world leaders are kissing my ass over tariffs. China launches racist humiliation campaign featuring morbidly obese Americans to mock Trump's brutal tariffs. Trump teases tariffs on pharmaceuticals. I know what the hell I'm doing. Arizona is safer this morning. Kristi Noem leads DHS and ICE deportations raid in Phoenix. 100 federal agents make early morning swoop. IRS acting commissioner is resigning over deal to send immigrants' tax data to ICE. Trump signs executive orders aiming to revive U.S. coal industry. 7 million young men don't want to work. We must force them. Would-be Trump assassin sought rocket launcher from Ukraine. Biden admin allegedly suppressed report linking service members to early COVID outbreak in Wuhan. UFO revolution. Journalist releases new military video of unidentified UAPs. AP win reinstatement to White House events after judge rules government can't bar its journalists. U.S. Supreme Court blocks ruling that 16,000 fired federal workers must be rehired. The clear and present danger to the American rule of law. Texas AG Paxton investigating USA fencing for disqualifying female who refused to compete against trans opponent. Food bank leaders spent millions on cars, Vegas trips, and home renovations, lawsuit says. Singer among 66 dead after roof of iconic nightclub collapses 1 hour into concert. Japanese town goes viral for middle-aged men trading card game featuring local heroes. April 10, 2025. Stock markets soar as Trump pauses many tariffs and hikes China levy to 125%. April Fools. Admin ties itself in knots. Why Trump blinked. Risky China trade war rages. U.S. inflation? China is more worried the trade war will make goods too cheap. Canada spectacularly bends the knee to the U.S. as Trump scores major victory over the 51st state. Iran's president insists Tehran does not seek a nuclear bomb and dangles U.S. business opportunities. These countries are calling me, kissing my ass, dying to make a deal. Trump takes tariff victory lap. Saudi Aramco discovers 14 new oil and gas fields. Appeals court rules Trump can fire probationary federal workers once again. Trump admin fires CIA official following her previous involvement with military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. ICE director wants to run deportations like Amazon Prime for human beings. Weezer bassist's wife shot by police after opening fire on hit-and-run suspects in her neighborhood. Singer killed in nightclub collapse sang to help rescuers find him under rubble. Jasmine Crockett floats down mighty Mississippi to purchase fresh shipment of Mexican slaves. Drawing the crowd. Kennedy Center breaks all-time attendance record amid liberal bellyaching over Trump takeover. Congressional committee votes to halt funding to Taliban. So are we out of the woods on tariffs? Ha ha ha, no. The art of the retreat. April 11th, 2025. Tech boss, his wife, and 3 kids are seen smiling with pilot on NYC sightseeing helicopter moments before they were killed when it split in half and plunged into the Hudson River. Trump tariff hike brings added China rate for many goods to 145%. The US and China are going to economic war, and everyone will suffer. Dumping cargo at sea to avoid tariffs irrational move, Hong Kong shippers say. Inflation drops to 4-year low. Month-to-month inflation negative for the first time in years. Supreme Court says government should seek return of wrongly deported Maryland man. Marco Rubio memo cites Mahmoud Khalil's beliefs in justifying his deportation. Closing the tap. Trump admin strips benefits from thousands of aliens on terror watch list. House passes bill requiring proof of citizenship to vote. You're done. Maine school board silences MAGA parent opposing trans athletes in girls' sports. Oregon says it will refuse to comply with Trump's DEI order on public schools. North Dakota. Cleanup underway after Keystone Pipeline spills nearly 3,500 barrels of crude oil. Soulja Boy ordered to pay $4 million in sexual assault and kidnapping case. Comedian cancels U.S. tour over fears about past Trump jokes. Nancy Pelosi's role in 2024 election looks even worse with details from new book. CIA files reveal secret search for Hitler in 1950s. How much did Congress make off market turmoil, and why are they allowed to make anything at all? April 12, 2025. Trump reveals results of doctor's report. Good heart, good soul, a very good soul. Takes jab at Joe. Unlike Biden, I took a cognitive test. Got every answer right. White House moves Obama portrait to display painting of Trump after assassination attempt. Butler man known online as Mr. Satan charged after threatening to murder President Trump and Elon Musk. Trump authorizes military to take control of federal land along southern border. China trade war update. Trump classifies Panda Express as domestic terror organization. Iran says seeks real and fair deal in nuclear talks with U.S. Trump administration ends temporary protected status for thousands of Afghans. Social Security lists 6,000 who immigrated legally as dead to prompt them to leave, AP sources say. It's fucking absurd. Lawyers sound alarm. Trump El Salvador black hole nightmare. Inefficiency leaders. Doge finds just 3 blue states are responsible for over half the U.S. unemployment fraud. Social Security Administration will be using X to communicate moving forward. Documents reveal Trump's plan to gut funding for NASA and climate science. Pentagon removes Greenland base commander after Vance visit. American woman held in Russian prison for $50 donation to Ukrainian charity has been released in prisoner swap. Prince Harry makes surprise trip to Ukraine. Harry Potter actor Nick Moran struggling to walk or talk after life-threatening diagnosis. Amazon's new movie about a heroic POTUS is just embarrassing. April 13, 2025. Trump DOJ flips off SCOTUS in brazen update on deported dad. Trump admin invalidates social security numbers of over 6,000 immigrants. The missing black demonstrators in anti-Trump protests. Feds say neo-Nazi Wisconsin teen murdered parents to obtain the financial means and autonomy necessary to assassinate Trump. Fight night. Trump enters UFC 314 arena with powerful GOP entourage and raucous crowd chanting USA. Ironic how liberal media weaponizes woke cancel culture. RFK hammers news attacks falsely claiming he mocked handicapped. Meet the activists motivated by hatred of Elon Musk. Apple was on brink of crisis before tariff concession from Trump. Trump says nuclear talks with Iran are going okay. U.S. demands control from Ukraine of key pipeline carrying Russian gas. Brother of Manchester arena bomber attacks prison guards with hot cooking oil. Kentucky cover-up. University offers to violate state law to trans kids. Quickly changes tune when reporter takes notice. Federal judge orders USDA to unfreeze funds to Maine. How a secretive gambler called the Joker took down the Texas lottery. Sean Diddy Combs' accuser drops Beyoncé and Jay-Z's names from sexual assault lawsuit. Scientists discover that fingerprints are not as unique as once believed. Scientists say they de-extinct dire wolves. Experts at La Brea tar pits are skeptical. April 14, 2025. Suspect arrested in arson fire that forced Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and family to flee residence. Trump warns China not getting off the hook on U.S. tariffs for electronics. How Trump's brazen China strategy could spiral toward mutual destruction. Hedge fund billionaire says U.S. may face worse than a recession from Trump tariffs. Zelensky accuses Vance of somehow justifying Putin's actions. U.S. team plotted to kill Trump and flee to Ukraine, says FBI. Fauci, Birx, and other COVID officials pursued for murder and other charges in 7 states. Wealthy family of top doctors and MIT student athletes wiped out as their private plane crashes during birthday celebrations. Kyron Lacey, former LSU wide receiver, dead at 24. How bad is California's housing crisis? A first-in-the-nation bill would let students live in cars. Declassified Cold War-era CIA files detail Soviet clash with aliens who witnesses say turned soldiers to stone. Scientists have reportedly figured out how to turn your blood into mosquito poison. The Tesla takedown shows how we can make oligarchs feel the pain. Trump administration retreats from white-collar criminal enforcement. Trump trashes 60 Minutes and calls on FCC to strip CBS of its license. Trump White House plans bold return to faith for Holy Week after Biden's Trans Day of Remembrance. Rory McIlroy fights back tears and emotional tribute to parents after historic Masters win. April 15, 2025. The constitutional crisis is here. Trump to the USA, there is no rule of law. The crisis over Trump's Salvadoran gulag has reached a terrifying breaking point. Harvard hit with $2.2 billion funding freeze after rejecting Trump's demands. Trump says Iran must give up dream of nuclear weapon or face harsh response. China leverages U.S. Stops exports of crucial rare earth minerals. Sticky situation for tech, auto, and defense industries. Silicon 6 accused of avoiding almost $278 billion in U.S. corporation taxes over 10 years. Wisconsin teen accused of killing parents plotted Trump assassination to spark political revolution. This is a tragedy. Teen murder suspect accused of stabbing Texas high school track star to death freed on bail. Suspect in arson attack on Pennsylvania governor's home arrested, far-left posts discovered on social media. Florida woman arrested for allegedly buying and selling human bones on Facebook Marketplace. Birmingham bin strike rubbish spirals to same weight as 2 Eiffel Towers. Emily Ratajkowski slams Blue Origin 4 destroying the planet after star-studded space trip. I'm disgusted. Katy Perry says spaceflight connected her to the divine feminine. Vance fumbles Ohio State's NCAA football championship trophy as Buckeyes visit the White House. Elephants form alert circle to protect their young as quake shakes San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Man sadly informs son after watching Return of the Jedi that they never made any more Star Wars movies. April 16, 2025. Trump administration denies FEMA funds to Democratic-led states. Damning accusations. Trump admin refers New York AG Letitia James for prosecution over alleged mortgage fraud. Harvard students and faculty celebrate defiance of Trump's demands. Musk's wild plan to father legion of kids using X revealed. FBI investigation CBS News Hunter Biden laptop Sherpa for alleged resume embellishment. Some half-brain dead man who thought he was president spoke tonight. Teen killer, Carmelo Anthony, receives parade of deliveries at family's $900,000 gated community home after crying poor to get out of jail over track star's stabbing death. In cinema-style heist, tunneling thieves steal millions in gold and jewels from downtown LA. Bernard Arnault's fortune falls by $9 billion as LVMH shares plunge. Celebrities criticize all-female rocket launch. This is beyond parody. The Who sacked key member after decades following huge fallout over Royal Albert Hall gig. Home Alone 2 director, a U.S. citizen, says he fears deportation if Trump's scene is removed from his film. Man fined $5,100 after hugging German chancellor. UK media labels man with diaper fetish who smeared feces on nursery walls a woman. Belgian teens arrested with 5,000 smuggled ants as Kenya warns of changing trafficking trends. Climate wackos are apparently going after dogs now, and I can't wait to see how it works out for them. A colossal squid is filmed in its natural habitat for the first time. April 17, 2025. Judge finds cost to hold Trump administration in criminal contempt for violating deportation order. Trump is sending people to the camps. Power trip. Trump admin and Governor Hochul in war of words over explosive claims she threatened president with her power over New York appeal judges. Civil war. State Department divide breaks open between establishment and MAGA loyalists over USAID cuts. Trump officials ask IRS to start process to revoke Harvard's tax-exempt status. This professor studies dictatorships. He helped convince Harvard to stand up to Trump. Blocked. Dem senator flies to El Salvador to visit alleged gangbanger in prison, only to be denied. U.S. envoy says fighting in Gaza would end immediately if captives released. Should Londoners be worried about China's plans for spy tunnels under the city? Some Hong Kong-based ship owners consider changing flags as U.S. tariff war rages. Protesters were stun-gunned and arrested at Marjorie Taylor Greene's town hall. Officers deploy tear gas, K9 and robot to arrest man blamed for Monday's Northwest Portland standoff. U.S. shuts down Biden-era censorship agency. Revulsion at Katy Perry over her ultimate insult to NASA astronauts stranded in space for 9 months. Fire Festival 2 postponed. Organizers claim Mexico stole their money. A minor league team scored 3 runs on a bases-loaded walk, and it was all somehow completely legal. Austria ponders giving women equality, draft them into military. April 18, 2025. Campus shooting. Sheriff deputy's son allegedly used her weapons to carry out deadly Florida state rampage. Wife-beating MS-13 gang member emerges from El Salvador's death camps to speak with Dem senator. Face-to-face. Several Democrats confronted over why they want non-citizens to vote in U.S. elections. Trump administration seeks explosive expansion of nation's immigration detention system. Donald Trump and Elon Musk's honeymoon officially over after F-bomb rant. Columbia University pays Trump millions of dollars a year. America's Mad King. U.S. strikes Houthi-controlled fuel port in Yemen. Report says trade deal between U.S. and U.K. is hung up because Starmer won't budge on anti-free speech laws. Luigi Mangione indicted on federal murder charge over healthcare CEO killing. All-female Romanian burglary gang arrested on Long Island, New York. Massive cuts at National Weather Service spark fears about forecast quality and public safety. Google tries to reassure staff after antitrust ruling. Scientists detect potential signs of alien life 124 light-years from Earth. DOE senior scientist Yi Sholian leaves U.S. for China. Aaron Rodgers is holding the NFL hostage and loving it. Haley Joel Osment is absolutely horrified of his behavior after he used anti-Semitic slur in police arrest footage. April 19, 2025. The Florida State University shooting suspect held white supremacist views, Pierce said. Boiling point. Slain track star's dad terrorized at home after tense press conference showdown. Trump posts photo of deported illegal alien Abrego Garcia's MS-13 knuckle tattoos while Dems insist he's not a gang member. I must be allowed to do my job. Portland politician to travel to El Salvador to demand release of mistakenly deported man. Newsom pardons Cambodian immigrant facing deportation, among other Easter clemency actions. Deadliest U.S. strike in Yemen kills 74 at oil terminal. 2 Pentagon officials fired amid sweeping leak investigation. Musk's SpaceX frontrunner for Trump's missile shield. White House reveals COVID lab leak theory as true origins of pandemic in flashy new website that blasted Biden, Fauci, and Cuomo. DOJ installs a former Tesla employee at the FBI. He's seeking to control education, the press, law firms. Thought police chief. U.S. releases thousands of files related to Robert F. Kennedy assassination. Raking it in. Fauci's first year of retirement was a money-making bonanza, Doc show. Google's empire has never been closer to collapse. Major rice producers have worst heavy metal pollution, Chinese scientists warn. The harem of Elon Musk. Jelly Roll says he once pooped his pants on stage. April 20th, 2025. Anti-Trump 50,501 protesters warn they're fighting fascism. MAGA in full meltdown mode over SCOTUS deportations ruling. Boarding crossings grind to halt as Trump's tough policies take hold. First shockwaves of Trump's tariffs are about to hit the world economy. Must to force Pentagon to build and then pay him to use network of killer satellites. Opposition to Eurofascism driving rapprochement with U.S., says Russian spy agency. Egypt and China begin joint Air Force drill Eagles of Civilization 2025. Gavin Newsom hit with backlash as he grants clemency to 25 criminals, including 4 murderers. Clyburn blames media for Democratic Party's unpopularity. 3 ex-presidents denounced the current one in a 2-week stretch. 3 fired Pentagon officials say they've been slandered by the baseless attacks from unnamed officials. Tim Walz's daughter says if Jesus were alive today, he'd be a lot like deported gangster. Attorney General says Florida man indicted in New Jersey after boarding Amtrak train with small arsenal of weapons. Alabama man dead after being nearly decapitated from hatchet attack. Tennis players told they can't shower in private under bonkers anti-doping rule. Christians exclaim he is risen on Easter Sunday. Here's why it's so meaningful. Mikey Madison will not star in new Star Wars film alongside Ryan Gosling. April 21, 2025. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth shared sensitive Yemen war plans in second signal chat. Top Hegseth aide warns even bigger bombshells are coming. China sends back new Boeing jet made more expensive by tariffs. Justice Alito dissents from Supreme Court pausing deportations of Venezuelan migrants. Prematurely granted unprecedented emergency relief. Salvadoran President Bukele proposes prisoner swap with Maduro for Venezuelan deportees. Transferred. Deported illegal and suspected MS-13 gangster transferred from notorious El Salvador prison. MSNBC host argues the deportation of suspected MS-13 gang member will lead to the deportation of Black American citizens. Trump's power feeds on white demographic fears. Democrats face growing calls for generational change. We need to talk about why Josh Shapiro's home was set on fire. Southern California mayor says he wants to purge homeless population by giving them all the fentanyl they want. Man who bit Orange County police officer dies in custody after arrest. Chinese spies are bugging London's pubs and park benches, security sources say. UK trans activists rally against Supreme Court ruling on definition of woman. Elvis Presley's dark confessions revealed in spine-chilling exposé about his occult obsession and the fate of those under his spell. Easter traditions crack because of high egg prices. White House solicits corporate sponsors for its Easter egg roll event. April 22, 2025. Pope Francis dead on Easter Monday. Trump to attend funeral. Conservatives among top candidates to replace. Virgin Mary statue sheds tears days before Pope's death. Zelensky-linked Ukrainian blogger mocks death of Pope. Judge temporarily blocks Mayor Eric Adams from cooperating with ICE on Rikers Island. U.S. imposes tariffs up to 3,521% on Southeast Asia solar imports. DHL to halt global shipments over $800 to U.S. amid new customs rules. Army immediately suspends top female commander after astonishing insult to Trump, Vance, and Hegseth. Jamie Raskin vows revenge on foreign leaders who work with Trump. Dem reminds Bukele that in America, presidents don't last forever. Attention grabbing. Senator Chris Van Hollen confirms taxpayers funded his meeting with alleged MS-13 gangbanger. Feds offer up to $5 million for MS-13 leader's arrest and conviction. The company you keep. Dem judge in New Mexico steps down after man with Tren de Aragua ties found in his home. 10,000 new RFK assassination files made public with 50,000 more pending release. Soros involvement, media propaganda, and Sirhan handler exposed. Trump administration to resume collections on student loan borrowers in default. Government cancels disinformation grants in disinformation-filled statement. Instagram tries using AI to determine if teens are pretending to be adults. Apparently 37-year-old Colin Kaepernick is training for a possible return to the NFL. April 23, 2025. Trump backs off threat to fire Fed Chair Powell as stock market surges. IMF cuts growth forecasts for most countries in wake of century-high U.S. tariffs. Tesla earnings plunged 71% in first quarter. Musk forced to name Doge exit date over Tesla dumpster fire. Government employee in Tim Walz' estate who caused $21,000 in damage to Teslas walks free. The long history of lawlessness in U.S. policy toward Latin America. Time is up. Trump admin drops the hammer on violent migrant terrorist group operating on U.S. soil. Dershowitz slams Harvard Law. Doesn't focus on principle, morality. Produces people like Schiff, Raskin, and Warren. Tim Pool, beanie and all, clowned an entire room of fake news reporters at the White House press briefing today. Jury finds the New York Times did not libel former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. Hollywood's woke blackout, studios ditch pride to cash in on conservative America. Report says Hollywood film and TV production falls 22%. Porn on election signs near Huntington Beach schools by councilman inappropriate, officials say. Keir Starmer does not believe trans women are women, Downing Street confirms. Learn why Klaus Schwab's sudden exit from the World Economic Forum signals a total collapse of the globalist death cult system. Astonishing way thief stole Ice Barbie Christy Noem's Gucci purse during dinner in D.C. Hundreds of planned condo units canceled. Market created almost overnight. April 24, 2025. Trump's faith advisor says women should submit to men. Trump administration texted college professors' personal phones to ask if they're Jewish. Hegseth orders makeup studio installed at Pentagon. Line of questioning. Gorsuch and school district lawyer have wild exchange over children's LGBTQ storybook. How Sam Alito inadvertently revealed his own homophobia from the bench. Tulsi Gabbard announces stunning blow against the deep state after 3 shadowy figures infiltrated U.S. intelligence network. Target stores boycott update as pastor intensifies push for DEI. Columbia University students plan to build tent encampments this week, sources say. Tim Walz looks into the void. Convicted cardinal demands to join conclave picking pope, setting up standoff. Jordan moves to dissolve Muslim Brotherhood and enforce nationwide ban. New Jersey wildfire forces evacuations and reaches closed nuclear power plant. Chainsaw-wielding man suspected of felling downtown LA trees is arrested. Oasis fans have lost more than £2 million to ticket scams, bank says. Weight Watchers prepares to file for bankruptcy within weeks. UK government to dim the sun in just a few weeks via spraying chemicals in the sky. 700 koalas killed in helicopter sniper operation. April 25, 2025. Ukraine debt talks fail. Cash bonus for a year fighting Russia? Inside Ukraine's youth recruitment drive. China cancels 12,000 metric tons of U.S. pork shipments. Alphabet sales exceed estimates on Google search ad business. Trump order encourages controversial deep-sea mining for critical minerals. No one is above the law. Trump orders Justice Department to investigate Democrats' top fundraising platform. Lawyers seek return of migrants deported under Wartime Act. Prosecutor says charging Tim Walz official for Tesla vandalism would risk public safety. Paranoid Hegseth screams at generals about polygraph tests. Department of Defense branch chief vows to resist illegitimate President Trump, calls Hegseth insanely young. Horrific tragedy. Son of ex-NBA star's crash video shows fiery wreck before going into induced coma. Bill Maher calls Larry David's satire of his Trump dinner kind of insulting to 6 million dead Jews. The Guardian warns women about influencers who want to make them thin, fertile, and Republican. Colleague of Harvard scientist held by ICE warns that foreign scientists are scared. Peter Brabeck-Letnath, the new interim chairman at the World Economic Forum. San Diego-based fast food chain Jack in the Box to close more than 150 locations. Rare smiley face to light up sky when Venus, Saturn, and the Moon align. April 26, 2025. The Pope wanted a small funeral. He's getting fighter jets. Unbearable weight. Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre dies by suicide just weeks after saying she had days to live. Judges are slowing down Trump's fascist deportation regime. Now he's arresting them for it. 2-year-old U.S. citizen deported with no meaningful process. ICE is reversing the termination of legal status for international students around the world. Governors warned to stop giving unemployment to illegal immigrants. U.S. and Israel seek to expand Abraham Accords. Moscow car explosion kills top Russian military officer. Zelensky demands at least Israel-style support from U.S. The coming economic nightmare. Elon Musk's XAI Holdings is in discussions to raise $20 billion. Pentagon puts politics over readiness. Taxpayers to fund sex change surgeries for troops. Caught red-handed? Education Department opens investigation into university with deep involvements with Chinese entities. First Harvard, now UC Berkeley. Trump administration to probe foreign funds. Diddy rejected plea deal, lawyer calls him a swinger, not a criminal. The New York Post is being mocked for the way it framed Gwen Stefani's acknowledgement of God. Historians may have finally worked out how many penises are on the Bayeux Tapestry. April 27, 2025. Joe Biden attends Pope Francis' funeral, reminding us we're better off without him in office. Trump and Zelensky meet one-on-one in Vatican Basilica to seek Ukraine peace. A massive explosion at an Iranian port linked to missile fuel shipment kills 14, injures around 750. Marco Rubio silences every last little criticism of Israel at State Department. Trump demands free passage via Suez Canal. We can't afford not to. China firms race to open U.S. factories amid trade war. Meta's digital companions will talk sex with users, even children. Trump's presence looms large over White House Correspondents' Dinner. Trump's latest deportation tear includes a 2-year-old and a kid with cancer. Watch A.G. Bondi tell the story of how arrested Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan snuck an illegal immigrant out the back door to avoid ICE. Illegal migrant arrested for theft of ICE. Barbie Christie Noem's $3,000 Gucci purse during D.C. dinner. 10,000 asylum seekers on endless vacation in Dutch hotels and cruise ships. Trump won't rule out seeking a third term, and his company is looking to profit. Trump-Hitler comparisons risk boomeranging on Democrats. CIA official's son killed while fighting for Russia, agency confirms. They are embarrassed. Teams execs react to drafting Shadur Sanders, and they're raising eyebrows online for it. USC student wins first sperm race, UCLA student splashed with white liquid. April 28, 2025. Trump has lowest 100-day approval rating in 80 years. The media freaked out because President Trump wore a blue suit to Pope Francis's funeral, but they forgot to mention a few others who did the same. NFL superstar hangs out with President Trump, day before highly anticipated White House visit. Bloodbath. Panic ensues after Trump admin takes wrecking ball to DOJ's woke civil rights division. 4-year-old being treated for cancer deported despite U.S. citizenship. Massive raid. Terrorists' favorite nightclub busted, illegal aliens arrested, and U.S. military members detained. Man charged with murder after 11 dead and dozens more injured in vehicle ramming at Filipino Lapu Lapu Festival in Vancouver. Mass casualty event as ferry carrying up to 50 people crashes into private boat, sparking huge rescue operation with 4 helicopters seen pulling passengers from water. Commander Zelensky requested more weapons in Vatican, says Trump. Black Hawk pilot ignored instructor before deadly DC collision that killed 67. Authorities say 1 dead and 6 injured after shooting at North Carolina University. Florida State Senator Jason Pizzo discusses his departure from the state's Democratic Party. Elite universities form private collective to resist Trump. Gen Z is taking the gender gap to staggering new levels. Michelle Visage mourns loss of drag race angel Jiggly Caliente after death aged 44. Why the brilliant second season of Star Wars prequel Andor hits too close to home. Falcons say defensive coordinator Ulbrich's son was responsible for prank call to Shadur Sanders. April 29, 2025. Carney's Liberal Party win Canadian election and completes a stunning turnaround fueled by Trump. Trump gets all the thanks for dooming Canada's Conservatives. Trump says, "I run the country and the world." Michigan Rep. Sri Thander announces impeachment proceedings against Trump for deporting Salvadoran gangster to El Salvador. Attorneys dispute Trump officials' claim that deported moms willingly took their U.S. citizen children. Democrats can't decide whether they think voters are dumb or just deplorable. Democrat hoaxers continue to deny they knew Biden unfit for presidency. Clyburn says, "I wasn't around Biden enough to say if he declined." Trump executive order requires truck drivers to speak English. President Trump shades Taylor Swift during Eagles' visit to White House. China's military rapidly expands use of low-cost AI-powered drones in phased leap. No evidence of cyber attack linked to blackout in Spain and Portugal, says EU chief. 4 children aged 4 to 18 are killed in horror car crash as drunk female driver plows her Jeep into packed school. Bay Area tech workers thought their jobs were safe. Then the golden handcuffs came off. Bodega cats aren't just cute, some in New York also consider them working animals. U.S. jet fighter is lost overboard in latest mishap involving aircraft carrier. FBI and national security agencies using polygraphs for leak hunts. These megacorporations are pulling out of financially supporting Pride Month. April 30th, 2025. Shock and awe. How Trump took over Washington and the world in 100 days. It's likely just going to get more difficult for Trump from here. Paramount inches towards settling Trump's $20 billion 60 Minutes lawsuit. Trump fires Doug Emhoff and other Biden appointees from Holocaust Museum Board. "I'd like to be Pope," says Trump. Judge Hannah Duggan only temporarily relieved of her duties after being arrested by FBI for shielding illegal alien from ICE. Amazon says it won't list tariff charges on ultra-cheap haul site after White House slams idea. Kremlin backtracks, now ready to negotiate with illegitimate Ukraine, thanks to Trump. Pakistan says it shot down Indian drone along Kashmir border. Sense of fear. Harvard reports find anti-Jewish and anti-Muslim bias. Salving in El Salvador. Democrats jet set to five-star tropical hotel in show of support for alleged MS-13 gangbanger. Prince William to strip Meghan Markle of royal title after he becomes king, says report. Pair filmed themselves on moronic mission to chop down sycamore gap tree, court hears. Hockey player who slashed opponent's neck with his skate in 2023 avoids criminal charges in Britain. Man charged with attempted rape of person who died on New York subway. John Elway driving golf cart during friend's tragic fall. The short-circuiting of the American mind.